Is Persona 5 Tactica worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome, everyone, to another episode 153 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and sometimes play a random game on Xbox Game Pass. But this time, we've got a guest on the show who seems to like Persona, specifically Persona 5. But let's see if we all like Persona 5 Tactica, as we're going to be talking about this game by P Studio? Yes. Or is it Atlus? Which one is it?
Okay. So it's P Studio is a subset of Atlus.
Okay. All right. So there you go. P Studio / Atlus. And this game came out in November of 2023. And it is 16.15 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Quite a bit larger on the Series S, 24.1 gigabytes.
Oh, wow.
So quite a bit larger.
Yeah, quite hefty. Maybe carrying all those anime chibis. I don't know, but we'll find out. So let's talk about that game loop.
I was very succinct in mine. I put tactical RPG.
Yeah, yes. Tactical RPG. Maybe you could say tile turn-based.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really it's a tile in the way that XCOM is a tile, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It reminded me definitely like a XCOM like view. I did put third person tactical RPG as my kind of game. I screwed that intro up of that, but that's okay. We'll get into now our game loop, which I'll quickly say I said progress through cutscenes and once in a while move your characters around a chessboard to defeat enemies. So
I mean, mine isn't too dissimilar, Chris. I put navigate dialogue to arrive at turn-based battles, which segue into more dialogue.
I wouldn't say either one of y'all are wrong, other than the collectathon. It needs to be a part of that.
Oh.
So if you're like a Pokemon enthusiast and you got to catch them all, you're going to fit right in on this.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Good to know. I'm assuming, Slade, you've played more than an hour of this game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to play just the hour, but then I was having too much fun.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're having too much fun. Let's talk about the fun part about this game. What did we like about it?
Yeah. Well, why doesn't Slade go first? Hit us with the stuff that you love.
Let's just start from the beginning. I didn't want to play this originally because I'm at the point in the fan base. I'm like, Atlus is milking Persona 5. Yeah. In fact, Persona 5 released 10 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been around for quite some time. The Royal came out about 5 years after the base game, which that's kind of like the director's cut, then they've been doing these spin-off games, which is not uncommon for JRPG games. See Final Fantasy for that. But
I mean, this is a spin-off too, right? Essentially.
Yeah, it is. It's a spin-off of the fifth game, and apparently it's only a spin-off of the base game, from what I can tell. I haven't seen any of the, what I would say is the director's cut characters, or I can't think of the name of the game off the top of my head right now, but they did another Persona 5 Strikers.
Okay.
Which was supposed to be like the after story from the base game.
Huh.
I didn't see any of them. So this is the second spin-off game, if you will.
Interesting.
But to sit back down with these characters in Atlus's lovely little art style with the music and the comfort of knowing and spending way too much time playing it, put me in a little cozy spot. And I had fun. I put it on normal and was a little surprised by some of the difficulty. I don't know how far along y'all got.
We only did an hour. So.
In your hour, I don't know where you got to. I got to the point where I guess a little story spoiler. It's in the first hour, so okay. I guess the main baddie had captured my friends, and then my friends went through and destroyed my party, which was not cool.
I don't know if I got that far, but I got
I got that far, but I got away. I succeeded in that mission just by running away, which was the objective.
Yeah, I got the main character away, which is the important part, but they slaughtered the rest of the party.
Oh, wow! I didn't realize there's that capability of that, or that possibility of that happening. That's interesting.
As long as you get Joker, the main character, out of the way, you're good. The rest of the party, they can go down and
Wow. Okay.
But,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was just like just to tack on, I did think, because I before the Persona 5 Royal dropped or got off of Game Pass, I did try it a little bit. I do appreciate the style of this game overall. Like they know what they're doing with this game. It's like it feels very anime, and it's
Right.
like but it's like like they just really lean into it. Like the closest thing I could think of, at least for me, on my personal, is Hi-Fi Rush in terms of like the style. And then I guess Scarlet Nexus, but I'm like, Scarlet Nexus, whatever.
Well,
but
yeah, no, I'd agree. That's the fun of it, is that the art style and the music flows so well together,
Right.
and then when you get in sync with the combat, time just goes away.
What did you like, Tom?
So yes, very much. I have the game has a cool style. The options, battle recaps, like all that stuff is all in this style that works really well.
Yeah.
I think that opening anime sequence and transition into the title sequence was really cool. It all flowed very naturally. It was like I'm watching this little movie and now I'm at the title screen, but I don't know when that transition happened. I think adding to that, so it's by default in English. I assume you could put it into Japanese if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the dialogue is all fully voice acted. Hooray! And it's done well. They've hired good voice actors to do it. Yes. So
I was pleasantly surprised by that. Surprised by that.
One of the characters they referred to, well, you see the name Yusuke or Fox as they referred, that's Matt Mercer. Like they got some really good voice talent for this game.
That's right.
I instantly recognized Matt Mercer.
He's got one voice and it's really good, but man.
yeah. Agreed. That's cool. And I gotta say the tutorial wasn't bad either.
I liked it. I thought it was well paced and easy to follow. That's just me. That's the way I felt about it.
Like I like that and so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the mechanics felt like they were pretty simple to start off with, but I feel like as you progress in the game, things can get a little bit more complicated and like they start to layer on top of each other, which it seems like a potential to be interesting later on.
Yeah. So you're correct on that, and Persona's really good at that. It starts off your turn-based really simple, like, oh, here's how you use the basic weapon, your two basic attacks, get through like the first fight, and then it's like, oh, here's how you use your superpower attack, and then from there you start moving on to like strategies. I mean, I got to the point at the end of my hour where on the tiled map, there was like spots if I put my character there, they wouldn't be in cover, but they'd be regaining health.
Oh.
So it's like trying to decide, is it worth me going over here to do that right now? And
interesting. I didn't even know you could do that. That's kind of cool.
It keeps stacking on, just layers and layers and layers.
Okay.
And I'd say those mechanics were layered on at a good clip where I never felt overwhelmed, which is important.
Right.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, we've been referring to it as like text like vomit or menu vomit lately. And I don't know if I get away with that, trying to be polite. But that's what we've been referring to it as when they throw out like a million windows for you to read at one time.
Oh yeah.
That's not fun for anybody.
It looked like it was going to be that way with this game, especially like during like the tutorial sections. Like they did throw up a lot of text for you to read, but it was like generally one page, maybe two, but it wasn't like terrible. I will say they kept it as simple as possible, and I like that, like kind of harboring back onto the look and feel. I think the UI looks great for what it is too.
Yes,
it's just a very polished look overall. I'd say that the game has, and there is a lot of dialogue, but I like that the option is there to fast forward through the dialogue.
Yes, so there's also like an autoplay function as well.
Yes.
So if you just want to, and even in, if you played like the regular game, that's a thing as well. There's a point in the regular game where like the plot twist happens, and I'm assuming in this one it has it, but I swear that cutscene's like 30 minutes. You'll just have your controller sat down, and then suddenly a dialogue option will pop up, and you're like, oh, hey, video game, right.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they got to pad out that, JRPG runtime.
Yes. Indeed.
Whew. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Feels like a pretty good segue to me, but I don't know.
Go
Well,
ahead.
you had one thing that you the one more mechanic. I thought that was an
Yeah,
interesting
so
point.
the mechanics of this game I think are generally pretty fun. I got to the point where they introduced this one more mechanic where if you drop a bad guy, you get to go again. And I think that leads to, you making decisions where you're like, okay, I need to drop this much damage onto somebody to drop them so I can get another turn.
Right.
I like being rewarded for intelligent decisions, I think.
Yeah. And even your one more drop would stack on top of each other. So if you get a one more and then another one more, like you could stack 2 or 3 of them on top of each other.
So like I was trying to do this during it. Like I believe melee attacks generally, if you melee someone that's in cover, that would cause them to be like weak. So I thought like if I could hit one into another person, would that essentially cause 2 one mores for me?
No, I think it moved them over one.
It just
tile.
moves them over. Okay.
Yeah, it moves them a tile. Not versus like if somebody has like obviously an AoE attack, then that would carry.
Okay.
And I guess we should also say that like the big thing is because it is like an XCOM Mario Rabbids style combat, guns are the big thing. So some characters would get AoE guns, some are just, one right
Single
front.
shot,
It just depends.
Cool. Well, that is cool, but let's talk about the uncool part of things here.
I feel like there's a very obvious one. There's a very obvious one, and that's the first thing I wrote down is all I'm doing is pressing A to advance dialogue, and then I have a sub note here that says this could all be done as a cutscene that I just watch.
Yeah, yes. I think in my hour I probably played 10 minutes, and I agree with you. Like there are points in there like where you get to choose, I guess, three dialogue options.
Yes.
And I'm like, to my point, to Tom's point, is there any point in that? Is there will my choice in those 3 options affect the storyline at all?
No, it's just flavor text for you to choose. Does not matter.
It's
now,
like, so
if it does matter, you will be like warned beforehand, as with the way Atlus does things. So they'll say, "Hey, your choices here really matter, so you need to pay attention." So, for example, Persona 4 Golden, a lot of people fail the game and get the bad ending because they choose the wrong dialogue options in a critical moment.
Oh, okay.
So it's introduced. We talk about building layers. It introduces the fact that you can choose dialogue.
Okay.
But that will be important later.
Then I understand that. Okay, I understand why they would do that then. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like priming the player for a future decision that will matter. These don't matter, but later this mechanic will matter.
Yeah, but how much later? It's like,
this is only 20 hours. It's only 20 hours.
All right.
Okay, but realistically, Slade, how many hours of gameplay in that 20 hours is there?
I'd say over half, which I know sounds bad, but I would hope for at least 12 to 15 realistically, and the rest to be cutscenes.
Okay, I'd be curious to know that. If anyone knew that would be good to know. But
what is the cutscene to gameplay ratio?
the cutscene to gameplay. I mean, like, I think they're trying to take that crown from Kojima. It seems like, because like, my goodness, how many cutscenes are there? I remember there was a point where I clicked a button when you get to your first home base or whatever it is,
right?
And it was like a 20-minute cutscene before that. Okay, maybe not 20. It was like 10 minutes of cutscenes, and then it was like, oh, click this to like talk to your companions or whatever. And then it was another cutscene. It was like, that was my only option anyway. So just get me to that next part. Why do I have to do that? But again, okay, I understand it's priming the player to understand this is what you need to do throughout the rest of the game. But my goodness, like, I get this. There's supposed to be like a lot of exposition here. You need to understand. And like, I haven't played a Persona game. Tom, I don't think you have either. So it's like, I understand you need to get your player invested, a new player like us invested in these characters. But I was starting to tune out a little bit. I'll be honest.
No. I'd really like to know about your experience of it, because somebody like me who's invested and has played a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like, obviously the characters have pre-established relationships. Was that for you two? Was that confusing to jump into? Just the fact that everybody knew each other and everything, as where, I'm sitting here watching it going, oh, hooray, we're back at Cafe LeBlanc.
Right.
Everybody's hanging out. We're going to have some coffee. This would be great.
No, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it feels like kind of like all the other like slice of life style animes. So like, if you're familiar with that concept, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't understand how this works.
Right.
I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm starting to learn their personalities because there is a crap load of interaction between the characters.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I do like that about this because it's like they didn't get too involved with like trying to get maybe potential player like myself to be like do that backstory for someone, like to do the exposition or like that kind of like, oh, you were here so and so for this many years and blah blah blah, like now it's so nice to see you. No, like they just kind of like like Tom said, you just kind of dropped in, you have to figure it out. Like these are the kind of players act, and again, like the voice acting definitely helped, because if it was shitty voice acting, it would have been a problem, right? Like I would have been totally tuned out. I don't understand this the big bad. It's spelled Marie.
Yep.
Yes.
But they say Marie.
So that a lot of times comes from like the Japanese translations. That's probably where they're putting the the influx, or I don't know what I don't want to say influence because that's wrong. What would you call it? Like inflection. Thank you.
Yeah.
On like the name.
I have a feeling that it was for rhyming purposes. They were doing a lot of things where rhyming with A in like the singy songy nature of it, but then just spell her name differently. It's a very easy fix. If you're going to call her Marie, just spell it differently. And then it's fine.
My favorite thing about her, to be honest, is how just cartoonishly evil she is. That you're immediately like, I don't like you.
If she had a mustache, she'd be twirling.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, then she'd be called Mario. So I'm just saying.
Well, we would have heard Chris Pratt then instead.
Yeah, exactly.
But just so cartoonishly evil that it's hard to just not be like, yeah, you need to go down.
Right.
Yeah. Even for you two, y'all could tell like, oh, these are obviously my friends. I don't know them well enough yet, but they're better people than you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, like I think they did a good job of like defining the characters fairly quickly. In the first hour, I knew who everyone was and how they are.
But what do you dislike, Chris? We're in the dislikes.
You're right.
Back on topic.
Thank you for bringing back on topic. I have to say the other thing that was really odd to me: you start the game, it asks you for a full name, but then they call you Joker anyway.
Yes. So there's two canon names, by the way, for Joker.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. There's Ren and Akira, and I forgot the last names, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. I named him D's Nuts because I'm 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really doesn't matter. I guess it shows up when you on your like dialogue at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. It shows whatever name you picked.
Or I guess because it's Japanese, you have to do it the other way around. So it's Nut D's, and occasionally in the text, it'll have your name in it.
Yeah.
And it just makes me laugh. Again, I'm about 5 mentally sometimes. And
I mean, I just wrote cool guy, so I don't know. Like, whatever. Doesn't matter anyway. I'm
also with y'all for some of the cutscenes, and it's for it. But man, a lot of the times it feels like it's over explaining a little too much.
Yeah,
a little too handholdy. The other thing is Morgana, the cat. Already in my love-hate relationship with that character again, because God, I would love it to shut up.
So it's not like a person that got turned into a cat. It's a talking cat.
It's a talking cat.
They don't really explain. Okay, it's an anime. Okay, I don't have to.
I don't think you need to worry too much about it, Chris.
What else do we not like here?
We could just get you into a lecture on what is anime. That'll
yeah. But I do have a couple of more bullet points here so we can move on. So there are a lot of loading sequences on the Series S, and they do feel very unnecessary because every transition has one. Every time you move to a different space, there's a loading screen. There's constant loading switching between the various like visual styles. Yeah. So you have these 3D characters sometimes the cutscenes are in those 3D characters, but then sometimes the cutscenes are in the 2D visuals.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of jumps all over the place. And while they all just stay kind of chibi style the whole time, it's like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like when it was like in the 2D anime style, I was like, yeah, let's just do this.
Right.
Like, I want to watch this show. Like, I'm not crazy about the game because there isn't a whole lot of game, at least not in the first hour. I also thought that, speaking of the actual game, there were times that if I could double move, things would have moved a lot faster. Like, I don't have an action. There's nobody to shoot. I just need to run. Right. Why can I not downgrade my attack into another run? Like, I could have gotten Joker out of that scenario and moved on to the next cutscene and whatever if I could have just downgraded the actions to run away. If there's nobody to shoot at, I just have to end my turn and let the enemies get closer. It doesn't really make sense.
My money is that is an ability that you get later.
Okay.
I would bet that it is.
Okay, interesting. I'm surprised how maybe not surprised, but because I really didn't see or feel that the loading part of it. It was fairly consistent, like, fairly snappy in between the scenes. But I will agree with you on it was like a Scarlet Nexus thing where they had so many different types of scenes, and then even though there was like great voice acting when there was voice acting, then there was certain points where they just like made grunts or like said like the first line, and I'm like, wait, what just happened? Why did it just drop off? It was just weird that they would kind of like, what are they like, their budget just like, oh god, we don't have any more money, just do like 2 lines and that's it. Like, I don't know what happened, but that was kind of unfortunate.
They've already paid them for like 4 games, they're trying not to spend any more money.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know. Maybe if I just wasn't noticing, or maybe it's just like subconsciously out of me, because I also played this on the Series S, and I didn't think twice about the loading, to be honest with you.
It was constantly happening.
Yeah,
like in the bottom right corner, it had the little
it had like the little like Persona logo for this game, and then it'd say load. And I don't know if like subconsciously, because I've played too many of them, I just see that and I go, okay,
whatever.
Yeah,
could be that you just blocked it out, but I noticed it every time because I was like, why am I loading this? This is not a complicated thing that needs to load. Like, it's just more dialogue. Like
this is like somebody pointing out the dead pixel on your monitor. Now I'm just thinking about it.
Tom will notice. He'll let you know about it too.
No, it would be different if it was like happening because it was loading into the combat. Like, that's fine. But like, I loaded into combat twice. Like, it's not like I was constantly loading into combat.
Right.
You're just going to a different type of cutscene.
Yeah, it's just moving from one kind of cutscene to the other kind of cutscene.
Yeah, if they just stuck to one cutscene, maybe not as much loading time. I don't know.
Right. I also wonder if this may be a thing because of all the different platforms that this game is on. Obviously we all played it on Game Pass, but this is on PlayStation, Switch. I wonder if it's maybe a holdover for the multi-platform of it. Not trying to excuse it, just trying to justify.
Yeah.
Because it does load quickly, don't get me wrong, but like it's constantly showing it. Like
Okay.
It's not an overly long process, but it's like, really, like, more loading? Like, what are you loading?
All right. Well, let's get to our other thoughts here then. This game is Xbox Play Anywhere. It is cross-save and cross-gaming compatible from PC to Xbox and to cloud. So that's pretty cool. How long to beat? Like Slade mentioned, says it takes about 19 hours to complete. That's I was surprised by that, honestly. I was like, this game's got to be like 1,000 hours because of the cutscenes. But hey, all right, I'm good with that. Tom, you got any other thoughts here?
Yes. So there is day 1 DLC for this game called Repaint Your Heart. But you'll notice that none of us mentioned that in our dislikes. And the reason I think for that is I was not prompted to buy that DLC during my hour, which was stunning. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I found out that there's day 1 DLC by looking for little notes on the game.
Yeah.
Like, so kudos to Atlus.
I don't think Atlus has ever peer pressured me into buying DLC, to be honest with you. I don't, in any of the games, I don't think I've ever been peer pressured into it.
They're my new best friends if that's their business practice.
well done with that. And I don't know when that gets unlocked either, because they don't tell you about it.
No,
It's just
sometimes a lot of
there.
the stuff is like cosmetic DLC. They do a lot of that.
Okay.
In the base game of Persona 5, there's some DLC fights between the protagonists of that game versus the older game protagonists.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
Cool.
it's just outfit changes. If you buy the Royal, you can switch to the school uniform from any of the other games, and it changes the combat music, which is fun and also really nice, and something that's about 120 hours of your time.
That is my secondary note here, which is that Tactica is a spinoff of the Persona series, in case that wasn't obvious to everyone.
Right.
But Persona series is a spinoff of the Shimigami Tensei series. So
yes,
we're literally playing a spinoff of a spinoff here.
Yeah.
The spinoff of a fifth game that is itself a series that's spun off from a series of other games.
It's also technically like the sixth or seventh game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not even the numbering. Yeah. It's like Assassin's Creed, where like sometimes we'll number them, sometimes we won't.
Or like, GTA 5 is really like the 9th GTA, to be honest.
Yeah, with Vice City and San. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Well, guys, we need to find out, though, is this game worth keeping on our respective hard drives, or is this the game where the kids like shoot themselves in the head?
That's Persona 3.
Oh, well, okay. So
that's Persona, which is getting its remaster, which is also coming to Game Pass.
Well, are we just gonna shoot ourselves in our anime heads and be done with this game? Tom, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so not unlike my experience with Scarlet Nexus, this feels like it wants to be something else. Like maybe it wants to be a visual novel. Maybe it wants to be an anime. I don't know that it wants to be this tactical RPG, because it wasn't most of my game. I think the story as it would be better served in a different medium. To me, there just isn't enough tactical RPG in this tactical RPG in this first hour for me to keep playing it. Like, I would watch this anime. Like, if you said, hey, Tom, you could watch this as an anime, I'd do that.
There's Persona 5, the animation.
There you go.
Done.
So I will go find that and watch that, and I'll be happy with it, just like I loved Scarlet Nexus.
All right.
I enjoyed the heck out of the Scarlet Nexus anime. So
yeah.
Thank you, Slade.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Slade, you've played past the hour, so clearly you've enjoyed your time. And I'll give my 2 cents, and then you can kind of, if you could say you want to plead your case or whatnot. But I don't know how I feel about the characters yet, but this game just does bleed style. It is just it's emanating from the pores. It's ridiculous. I might, because I could see that there's something there, I might pick this back up again, because I really do want to play a tactical game. I had fun playing Midnight Suns, but I had a horrible time in between the tactics, and it was because they had horrible everything besides the tactics, which is unfortunate. But this game maybe gives me a happy medium. We'll see what the cutscene ratio, though. We'll see about that. So, but for right now, yes, I will keep the game, and I'll try to keep playing it. So,
like I said, I wasn't planning on doing this because I'm a little fed up with the Atlus milking of Persona 5, like majority of the fans are. But now that I've played it, I got to see it through. So it's staying on the hard drive.
Okay, you're committed. Yeah.
How far do you think you got, Slade?
Probably about 2.5 hours. And again, so from my Persona experience, exactly as I thought, those skills and everything that you're learning just keep stacking. So I don't know how far, Chris, you gotten, when you dabbled in Persona, but that first palace it's around 8 hours long, to be honest with you. But that whole time you're stacking, learning stuff, like all the mechanics are going to be gone through in that first one. And then the second one, it's like, all right, hands off, have fun.
Huh.
Go nuts.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you want to try to run through the whole thing in a day, go ahead. Let's go of your hand at that point. So that's what I'm wondering is, when will I be at the hand let go?
Okay. Cool. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D. Shoot us an email at tc1h1d@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1h1d. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below and tell us how wrong we are about Persona, because at least two of us might be wrong about it. I don't know. But 1H1D is part of that Q2B network. If you like gaming content, any kind of cool gaming content out there, check it out at quitthebuild.com/network. Now, Slade, again, thank you so much for joining us on this show episode and bringing this game to us. Even though it was a little wishy-washy in terms of our thoughts here, we appreciate you coming on and telling us all about Persona. So
Absolutely.
Please let everyone know where they can find you.
Sure. Hello, my name is Slade. You can find me at Slade Plays Games on most things. You can find me at the Game Club Pod. You can also find me talking to Tom and Chris over on a show we do called Between Two Pods. I did a lovely little AMA with them, and we had an excellent time. Yes, and you should make sure you go listen to that. We also have a new series out called Game Changers, where we interview people from the gaming industry, notable voice actors that we've had on so far. We've had Andrew Bowen, who you may know. I'm going here to make sure I don't mess this up because it's from a fighting game. I don't play those. I've lost it. Where's Andrew Bowen? Oh, Andrew Bowen. Yeah, he was Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, hey, cool.
So we had him on, and then we've also had Adam Hager on as well, who you might know from the what's it called? Not Sands of Time, Prince of Persia series.
Oh wow!
So
he was the prince.
No, he was not the prince. He was the one of the characters. I forgot who. I didn't do that. That's one of my co-host shows. Nice. The Lost Crown, Prince Castor, and Bravely Default.
Nice.
He's Prince Ghassan in Prince of Persia.
Okay. So he is a prince of Persia, just not the prince.
Just not the prince.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is it then, Tom, isn't it?
No, Chris.
No. Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry. Oh, no.
We just, this is it. 153 episodes. We're done.
Slade's the one that killed it up for us.
Persona took him out.
Persona took him out. No.
Never saw it coming.
No. Well, it's okay. We are going to find out what we play next by clicking that surprising button. So here we go.
Persona 6.
Oh, don't tease me.
Slade be really happy with that answer. But no, it is Eastern Exorcist.
Okay.
No idea.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Nor have I.
Yeah, well, it's on Game Pass and we're going to try it. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this episode, and we will catch you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having me again, guys.